Well, hello.
Hello.
Excuse me 1 second. Pre-show stuff.
Right.
uh, Welcome everybody to the Minnesota Spiritcast. We're coming at you on a Tuesday night, which is a little, different and a little change up. We're usually do our shows on Saturday, but we won't disappoint tonight because we are with our neighboring state. Well, my neighboring state of North Dakota. This completes the Dakotas because we did South Dakota a little bit ago. Um, Casey, don't worry. Next week we're gonna do your neighboring state. Okay,
Alrighty.
gotcha.
I'm good with
But
that.
anyway, all about tonight. We are virtually in North Dakota, and we have a great show lined up for you with the team members of paranormal investigators of North Dakota. But before we bring them up, let's introduce you guys to our sponsors of Dubby Energy. It's a bunch of different flavored drink powders that you can mix, with water, or I wouldn't suggest water, probably milk. I haven't tried it yet, but they say it's a really good energy drink, and they are one of our sponsors, so be sure to check them out. We got tons of other sponsors, so I like to share all those with you guys eventually. But let's go ahead and bring up our fellow hunter. Here is Beth. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Let's not keep the paranormal investigators of North Dakota waiting. Here is Wendy. And let me scroll down so I don't get the other name wrong. Here is Stephanie.
Oh.
Hey. Your name was blocked by my little menu at the bottom, so I didn't want to butcher it. I have a few friends named Stephanie. So welcome to the show. We're coming at you from Mora, Minnesota,
You are
and
frozen, brother.
Wisconsin, right? And we have Lurker here, it looks like. Welcome. He's always lurking. So, anyways, so you guys are the paranormal investigators in North Dakota, and it kind of rings a bell of my previous team, paranormal investigators of northern Minnesota. So, kind of similar names, and it's pretty cool. So, first of all, let's start with you guys telling us a little bit about who paranormal investigators of North Dakota are.
Steph, you want to start?
Sure. So we're paranormal investigators of North Dakota, as you said. We've been a group for about 8 years. Right now we have four main members, and that's.
We do have other team members. Two of them recently moved to Arizona, but they travel back up to North Dakota to do bigger investigations. Then we also have Bambi Mansfield, who is based out of Medora area. So she also helps out when we're on the southern part of the state. So
awesome. And North Dakota, it's a pretty big state, right? So
yes, it keeps us traveling, definitely.
Yes, just like here in Minnesota, when you go to do an investigation, we've done even before Casey and Beth joined me. We've been going since 2020, and that's 4 years of investigating, and we haven't even put a dent into the state. It's a really big state. I'm sure there's tons more haunted places. So, have you guys ever ran into the issue of people not allowing investigations because of either COVID or something like that?
I don't think during COVID timeframe we were just really of our team, make sure that we were using hand sanitizers and masks and all that stuff. But pretty much we've been kind of continuing since. So
awesome. Any good team doesn't let it slow them down. So props on that. Good job. So first of all, when did you guys found? Are you guys the founders of the team? When did you guys start the team?
So we were originally part of a team out of Bismarck, but they were not as active as we would have liked. And also we felt like they weren't trying to investigate for the correct reasons. So it was Wendy, myself, Brian, which I think is on, I think I said I saw him say hi. And then another previous member. So we branched off of that group and created Pinned. And then we've just been kind of trying to find other members here and there. Some members have left on their own accord and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think that was, Wendy, what do you think? Like 2000?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's been a long time.
24 now, so 2016-ish.
I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, right around that time. I
Okay.
think.
Awesome. Yeah, enough said when you say it's been a long time. I feel it's been a lifetime. I absolutely love what I do. Paranormal is a great passion to have. And you run into some pretty cool stuff. So before we get a little into the history and documentation of your team, I want to know, what is the craziest thing you guys have experienced? What piqued your interest in doing paranormal?
For me personally, I've been experiencing paranormal since I was probably 2 or 3 years old. From loved ones that are passing, moving on, coming to my bedside the night that they basically had died, telling me that, oh, I'm okay, you know, grandma's gonna move on now, I love you and everything. And then my mom getting a phone call the next morning, opening my bedroom door, and she looks at me and she's like, oh, you already know. And I'm like, yeah, well, grandma so and so passed. And she's like, okay, and just slowly shut the door again and walks out my room.
For me, it was so I'm originally from south of Bismarck, and my grandfather actually built the house that I grew up in, and my brother actually lives on the farmstead now. He actually passed away in the house, and throughout growing up, like, it was a constant, like, footsteps and voices and door slamming and all kinds of stuff. So and I've always experienced stuff like that growing up as well.
And this is kind of what piqued your interest into starting a team and going professional with it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think most of our team members have had experiences either as a child or as a teenager, and that's what's kind of continued them researching and connecting with us to join the team. So
absolutely awesome. So I assume you guys have been going, you know, quite a while, almost 10 years, which is fantastic. And you've done quite a few investigations. What's been your favorite one?
Mine has been anytime we go to Medora. Anytime. It doesn't matter where. Mostly the Billings County Courthouse Museum in Medora. I think that's probably by far one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think that's in general for the whole team. The Billings County Courthouse Museum is super active. There have been so many encounters, from smells to sounds to catching shadow people, being touched. So
wow,
anytime we've gone there, it's super active.
Mm-hmm. This is awesome. And so that's in Billings County, North Dakota.
Yep, Medora. It's the southwestern side.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you, northern team to northern team here. How do you guys deal with the cold when investigating? Because it gets cold.
Yeah. Sometimes we usually try to investigate more during the summer, like away from our home base in Minot.
Sure.
So we try to like stick around here during the winter, just so we don't have any, anywhere to travel to. And we're to travel during the winter. We always tell the people, it's always weather based. So, and they completely understand, like, if it gets pretty bad outside, and we're just like, yeah, no, we're not gonna risk it. But the cold, I don't think really bothers us all too much, but it's the snow and the weather. So
yes.
Travel. We had to cancel one. We had a big blizzard, I think, in what was a January, Steph.
Yep.
That we rescheduled, and we're going to be going back to that location in April.
Okay.
the Empire Arts Center, the theater in Grand Forks.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. So to celebrate our 4th season of Minnesota SpiritCast, and to celebrate the All American Paranormal Tour, each and every show we've been asking our guests what are 4 of their bucket list places to investigate, whether it be in North Dakota or outside of the state. What are 4 places that you guys would absolutely love to do? You can do 2 each or 4 each, whatever you choose.
You go first, Wendy.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't even know where to start. The lighthouse,
I'm gonna make you think a little bit.
St. Augustine Lighthouse would definitely be a bucket list location. I don't know. There's so many. Salem. There's so many places in Salem. That gives you
the Pennsylvania State Penitentiary would definitely be mine. One of mine. Even the Montana State Penitentiary.
Ooh.
One. Yeah, there's so many.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of falling into the problem that I have when I'm asked the question. I'm like, yeah, I can't give an answer to you yet. So,
Yeah.
Right.
Alcatraz will be at the very top.
I've been to some pretty good ones, but I haven't on that side of the state. So, or the United States.
So, with that being said, let's talk about some of the better locations in North Dakota. I mean, you of course have your favorite place to go. Is there a place that you have not been to, or a place that you have been to and you would love to go back?
Go ahead.
The Harvey Library is one that we've been antsy to get into, but it's one that they're not open to having anybody come in and do an investigation. So that would be one I'd like to, but out of respect, we're not going to push the issue.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really like to actually get in and investigate San Haven. We did go out there last year, and we had everything okayed by the tribe. It had all the paperwork in order, but they're demolishing in the process of demolishing it right now, and we're actually asked to leave by the head guy.
Oh, sure.
The bulldozer guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So like we were there, we had everything set up. We had to pay for generators to run our equipment and cameras and everything. We probably were only there or investigating for maybe an hour.
Oh, wow.
Everything went live. Whenever we do investigations, if we do go live on our Facebook investigating so people can with us. And we were live maybe an hour, so maybe an hour and a half total. But,
okay. Wow. That's sad when you get into something that you really want to do and you're really enjoying yourself, and then you get, kind of gets a halt put to it.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
Yeah, well, out of respect for the guy, we quickly packed up.
Sure.
2 gentlemen, 2 cops were called on us too, and the cops were slightly disappointed because one of them was actually watching the live and was really getting into what we were picking up on already at that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so he was like, man, that sucks. And we were like, well, it's, it's okay. You got to do what you got. So.
I find it kind of funny. You brought up the cop situation, and sometimes it can be a little scary thing. We don't trespass on the team. We make sure we have permission for everything. But, of course, some cemeteries and everything are completely public, and you don't need permission to go in or anything. We were just going in to do a little bit of documentation, see if we could get something. In Norwood, Young America, Minnesota. It was called Ferguson Cemetery, and we're just kind of doing a little spirit box session to see if somebody would communicate. And this lady pulls up into the cemetery, or kind of outside of it, and tells us that we need to leave because we are damaging the cemetery. Meanwhile, all we're doing is sitting there, just talking to our equipment, and calls the cops. And the cop comes over and says, "Man, I love things like this. I watch videos all the time, and this and that." And so, if you're a paranormal investigator, you get the cops calling on you. Be cool. Don't freak out because it might go just fine. Seems like you guys had a good experience like we did. So.
The cops were like, I showed them the emails that said we were cleared to go. I showed them the waiver contract, and he said to me, he was like, it looks like you guys are subscribed to be here, but the other guy was just concerned with somebody, whatever he had his agenda. So we respected that and packed up and visited with the cops afterwards. So
I apologize about my child's loud talking. I'm just gonna mute myself when I'm not talking so you guys can talk. So pretty interesting there. Now, if anybody is tuning in to the show and it is your first episode of MNSpiritCast, the whole reason for this season is the ALL American Paranormal Tour. We're traveling the United States, virtually, of course, state by state, to talk with teams and individuals about their team and how they are able to offer help to those that are looking for help, whether it be connecting with a loved one, crossing somebody over, something like that. There's a lot of people out there that don't know. There's people who won't judge, who will help, and all kinds of things like that. And that's kind of the point of the ALL American Paranormal Tour. So with that being said, in North Dakota tonight, what I like to do is kind of give everybody a little breakdown of how you guys handle investigations and stuff. So with that being said, do you guys take care of private investigations as well?
Private residences, yes, we do.
Yes. Okay. And have you guys done a whole lot of those?
Quite a few, yes, actually. We have a couple in Mandan that we'll probably be heading to in the next couple months. But they've mostly been around the Minot area, Williston, within an hour or two of.
Okay. Perfect. So when you're doing a private residence, or it could even be like a commercial building or something like that, do you guys have a pre-investigation process that you have to complete before doing the initial investigation, say a walkthrough or something like that?
Yeah. You mean like for like when people call us, or just like when we get to the actual investigation?
So just kind of an example, when people call us, there's some people that message or some people call. We generally get a little bit of information about what we're dealing with. Then we'll go meet these people in person. It'll just be me and a camera person or something like that. And we'll get a little more information and schedule a pre-investigation walkthrough to see where we can put our base of equipment so we're not contaminating the investigation and things like that. So, I mean, from the moment you get that call, is there a process that you have to complete before doing the initial investigation?
Yeah, so we normally we talk to the people over, like, either we meet them in a public place first, or we do it over the phone, like via FaceTime or what have you. Just to make sure that an investigation is appropriate, or because we also do clearings as well. So sometimes it's more appropriate for us to go in and do a clearing versus an investigation. If we do an investigation, we always do a full walkthrough with whoever contacted us. And all of us on the team are or have some kind of intuition. Like Wendy can pick up more so on like specific people, emotions, stuff like that. Like she can sense what they're wearing.
Sure.
I also pick up on emotions, but I connect more to like the land when we go on an investigation. So we just kind of put out our we call them our feelers, and
Mhm.
just kind of see, and then we also try to do any kind of research on the history of the of the of the location as well, and
Sure.
from there.
Okay. Yeah, so kind of with us, that's our whole point of doing the walkthrough is if we were to go out and do this walkthrough, like we're dealing with and the episode is coming up pretty soon, we're dealing with a haunted attraction that has actors dress up and everything for Halloween and things like that. So they're actually having real paranormal activity over there. I don't want to say too much because it's going to be in our newest upcoming episode. But what we did when we got the call is I went over there with my assistant manager and a camera person. We got some info about what's going on. Then we scheduled a walkthrough to see if it was a investigation that was needed or if we had to do a cleansing of, some evil presence or something like that. So that's kind of our motive when we're doing our walkthrough, to see if we actually need to dedicate a full night of investigating. So
Right.
all right, and I noticed you said, yeah, you guys do clearings of places too. What is your process for that? Do you have some special, crystals or black salt or something that you got to use?
Steph, you want this one?
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
I am a Holy Fire 3 Karuna Reiki master.
Mm-hmm.
And through my training with that, we use Reiki, we use Sage. Stephanie and I are both water signs, and a Navajo featherway told me that we shouldn't be burning sage because we're water. So we use a liquid-based sage when we do the smudging or the clearing. We also use Reiki, and then after we do the conventional Reiki clearing, followed by the sage clearing, I also go in with the singing bowl. We find that using the singing bowl as a kind of final clearing through the house just helps get some of those finer residual things that are still sticking around. So.
Okay. See, I've never heard of liquid sage before. How does that work? You just spray it, or
just like you would go through the home with the feather and the burning of the sage. Just use the spray bottle and use the same process to kind of disperse.
Sure. Now, in your opinion yourself, do you think herbal sage or regular sage is a good tool to use, or is it like one of those things where it's a definite no-no to use?
I don't see an issue with using sage. Sage has been connected to basically all nationalities for centuries, and it's been kind of a proven thing that it helps dissipate, disinfect, and clear. So I think it's very good to do.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, because we do use regular sage ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We generally like to sage the place with permission from the client. We do have waivers that we have them sign saying here are the effects that could take place.
Yep.
We're not saying it's going to happen, but it could happen. And so we just have them sign everything. With that being said, do you guys have to have like a bunch of paperwork and stuff for each case that you have these clients sign?
Not normally. When we go into locations and stuff, verbal contract where we are very respectful of their privacy. Some businesses are like, oh, I don't care. Go ahead, go live. Other ones are like, absolutely, please do not share this information. So it's more of a verbal contract because we do have a lot of paranormal teams, quote unquote paranormal teams, the people who are just wanting to scare themselves in the dark contact us and it's like, hey, can you give me the phone number for this place? And we're like, sorry, by privacy contract through the business or homeowners, we do not share private information, phone numbers and stuff. So
sure, that makes complete sense. And there, like you said, there's people trying to scare themselves in the dark, and there's people with different mindsets in the field. And I've noticed that over the years since I've been doing it, there's people that are just in it for fame and popularity. Some are in it for the money. Some are in it. We don't charge for our investigations whatsoever. We don't believe in it. We believe it's completely selfish to charge, because why charge these people for problems that they're having in their home? Now, we do accept tips at the end, but on the form where it asks if you want to leave a tip, in big bold letters says not required. So no money is required, no popularity is required. We're in it for helping, whether it be the dead or the living. We're in it to help.
Yep,
So,
and that's one of the major things that we also do. We don't charge for anything that we do, whether it's a clearing, an investigation. We do take donations for like gas money or whatever, but it's always they offer it first. And then, if it's a long distance thing, we'll just let them know that, well, thank you, this will go towards gas money or new equipment or whatever. So, but we don't we don't charge at all. So.
Yeah, exactly. I believe it's absolutely foolish to charge for an investigation. So I guess everybody to their own. It's just something I've never believed in, and I never will. So, yeah. So, okay, when you guys are on the investigation, is there some specific techniques that you feel helps better than others? Say the Estes method. Have you guys ever tried it?
Steph, you want to touch on this?
Not really. Not really that I know of. I guess when we go in for an investigation, we just go in and we try to see what we can feel and see what our equipment does, and we just we're kind of a go with the flow type of.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And we are very scientific about our investigations too. We do try and validate our clients' experiences, but if you watch any of our lives, we sometimes do look like absolute fools because we're jumping up and down to see the doors make the walls shake or the doors, the cabinets will open or whatever. So sometimes, you got to do a little bit of extra to try and debunk what they're experiencing, to explain to them that it's not a paranormal experience, but it's just you have a loose hinge. Stephanie actually picked up on something really good. It was a couple of years ago at a home residence. This lady slept in the basement. She always felt like when she was sleeping, somebody was looming over her, watching her. We kept doing a sweep with an EMF detector. We kept getting high EMF spikes. And it kept hitting the one corner of the bed. We're like, I don't know. There's no reason why the bed should be emitting a high EMF spike.
Sure.
So took 2 steps off to the left, and then on the side table, she had an old antique fan that she turned on every night. Lo and behold, that was emitting the high EMF spikes. Needless to say, she got rid of the fan, got a new one, and she didn't have issues anymore. So.
Now, with like fans and stuff, they put out lots of white noise, which can also be a little beneficial to the field. So, what are your thoughts on using white noise to communicate?
The main source of white noise that we usually use are the spirit boxes.
Yeah.
That's about the only. That's the only thing that I can think of that we really use with the white noise stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We have an envoy and an ovulus and stuff too, but that's not really white noise. Of course, so picking stuff that we can't hear.
Sure. And so, since we're kind of on the subject right now, when you guys are on an investigation, what are your must-have pieces of equipment?
I have we both each have a full spectrum camera. I usually carry mine throughout the investigation. I know Wendy has her favorites as well. But I know Brian, our other co-founder, his thing is the spirit box. He's, for some reason, the spirits love to talk with him through the spirit box. Us ladies don't really get much luck, but
Casey, that remind you of something? Okay, he can't hear me.
Yeah,
That's awesome. And what about you, Wendy?
I can hear you, but everybody.
Definitely the EMF detectors are a great tool. Digital recorders. We have a really cool little music box. It was one of those things on Ghost Stop during
Sure.
during COVID, I think it was, or Ghost of August, one of the two. And they were like, buy this now. It's this little coffin shaped music box that has the
yeah.
And I was like, that no matter where we go, that always hits really well. The REM pods, anything that will kind of interact nicely. We love that. The less cameras.
we also have like
message.
so like we love to put that down hallways. I know at where's that place what's that place in Fargo called again, Wendy? Bonanzaville. Yep. So we were able to set up a bunch of stuff. There are a bunch of different buildings that that are from like in the area, and the brothel like down the hallway was very, very active with the rope lights. So that was pretty cool.
Wow. And you said this is in Fargo?
Yeah.
Which is literally like, I don't know, three or so hours from here. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Every October they do little paranormal tours, and they have different paranormal teams and stuff come and do investigations and tours and stuff with the group. So
okay,
that if you're interested, maybe reach out to them and say, hey, we'd like to pop over for a weekend and help do the tours and stuff.
Sure.
It's a
that
cool
sounds kind of fun.
Of like old pioneer buildings and huge facility. So
awesome. Back a couple of topics ago, I heard one of you mention debunking, that you got to debunk. So we express it a lot here on this show, but from y'all's perspective, how important is debunking when you're putting out evidence?
It's super important. It's actually quite comical to watch us, because you can go back and watch our live videos, because we'll jump up and down and we'll like wave our arms, do anything we can possible to try to recreate. There was one time in Bonanzaville, actually, like I was taking pictures. We were helping with the tour there, and there was like this. If you have the iPhone, like the live option, Wendy discovered this, and then I switched to iPhone so I could get this too. The live option on your phone to just keep, take a bunch of pictures in sequence. There was like a light and a shadow on one of the walls. So like we had a bunch of different people stand where they were standing and like do a bunch of stuff. And yeah, but yes, debunking is very, very important in the way we do things.
Yes.
No, I'm high debunker.
Yes, yeah. Here on Minnesota Spirit Hunters, you must debunk. If I've caught people doing my editing for my shows before, and they like to stage the evidence to make it look like we got something.
Yeah, no.
Why you think those people ain't on the team no more?
Right.
Absolutely.
We're not dealing with that. No way.
Yeah, that's one thing great about the core team that we do have. All of us are very scientific based. My son is a part of the team. He's more of a tech guy, but if we show him something that Stephanie and I and some other team members are like, there's no way to explain that, he will find some way to try and find a way to debunk it for us. And sometimes he's done it and we're like, man, I can't believe that we overlooked that. but other times
Look
he
at the brains on that kid.
can't do it.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't explain that one. So
Man,
Yeah.
we
that's
do
awesome.
can to try and
Whenever we like are listening to our voice recorders, we try to go back to wherever the video was in that particular area as well. And so like we have different corresponding noises. And there's been many times where we're like, oh my gosh, like this is a voice and blah, blah, blah. And then we go through and find like where the video was. And it's like, oh, that was this person talking. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah. So with that being said, debunking is a must, and that is one of the biggest things you're going to want to know if you're looking to get into the paranormal field, how to debunk. If you don't know how to debunk, hit me up. I will help you. It's not hard. You know, it could be as simple as taking several different voice recorders, putting in each and every room that you go to, and going back at that time frame and listening to it on each one of them. And if you got it on on all of them, then it's probably not paranormal. You can probably find a source of the noise. So it's all about figuring out what each thing was. So I'm not going to give too much away, but just a little laugh for you guys here on our last investigation that we done. What was it, Casey and Beth? January. The Boyd house.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, me and one of our other tech guys and our lead medium was over in and that's another question I'm going to ask you guys. But we were in a room, in the basement, which obviously when you go into a basement, it gives you a creepy feel right away. It never fails. Myself, I'm an attic junkie. I prefer an attic. But very dark room. The closet door was nothing but a glass mirror, and it's one of those that you could slide open and closed. And we had been sitting in there, had our equipment down on the floor doing a little session. So we decided to pack up and move on because we're not getting any evidence or no hits or anything. And everybody had exited the room already, and I'm doing one last sweep of the room to make sure everything's picked up. And I'm almost out of the room, and something comes out of the closet at me. It's my tech guy. I thought he had already left the room and shut the door, and my camera was pointing at him too, but he's coming out of the closet, which I thought was shut. And so I thought something was coming out of the mirror at me, and I, not kidding, I did jump backwards and kind of said a word that I shouldn't have, but you know, it got me.
Words slip out when you're investigating.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got that suspense already going, so it kind of made my heart a little bit.
Yeah, especially when you have a spider coming at. Especially when you have a spider coming at you.
Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about spiders. No, we're not doing that. But no, that was a comical little scene, and we like to make bloopers for our episodes as well. So there's tons of times where we goof up on our shows, so kind of give people a little laugh.
Yeah.
But before I got into that, give me an idea. What is your take on working with psychic mediums or sensitives?
Well, as Stephanie kind of mentioned, we all in our own way have that ability. We did at one time have an evidential medium working directly with our team, but he stepped away to just communicate with spirits of loved ones now. But he always yells at me, Wendy, you're a medium. I'm like, no, I'm not. Wendy, you're a medium. The spirits are telling me. I'm like, no. But a lot of times when we're on investigations or doing Reiki sessions as well, loved ones, spirits of loved ones or whatever will come through, and I will give messages if that's what you're asking.
Sure.
We did a private residence not too long ago that we discovered that it was the lady's grandson, and we were able to give her some messages to him or to her from him to help kind of give her some closure and stuff. So
With that, I want to ask you guys, what has been the most touchy, emotional investigations you've ever done?
You giggle, Steph. Talk.
I think the most emotional one was so have you ever heard of Fort Totten here in North Dakota? And so when Fort Totten was built, it was a military training facility. And then it was turned into a Native American reform school, and it was not one of the good ones. So we actually were able to spend the night there one time, and we investigated the boys' dorm. Now, Wendy and our other one of our other team members who moved to Arizona, her name's Nani. They're child size. They're both Wendy and Nani are 4'11", and then so they're child size. And then Wendy is an art teacher. She has to deal with little kids all the time, and Nani has kids, like many kids. Well, I don't want to. I think she's got what, like 5.
We always joke that she has a million kids, but
yeah, like so she loves kids. So child spirits tend to gravitate more towards them. And we were in the boys' dorm, and Wendy kept saying that there was like a group of like 5 little boys following you guys around.
Yep.
And so we went into the bathroom, and Wendy told me to wait at the door, and her and Nani went around the corner. And I'll let Wendy explain what happened if she wants to, but I just remember just all of a sudden there was just an uplifting, quiet moment, and like it just everybody was crying. Because so I'll let Wendy explain exactly what happened, but that was probably the most emotional I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Just to bring up too, during this investigation, we had the honor of working with some of the tribe members that had loved ones that went to the reform school. So it was amazing to actually get I guess it'd be secondhand stories of the abuse that these children went through. But at one point, I just felt the calling that I needed to help this group of 5 boys move on. So Nani and I stepped off to a private area as Stephanie and the other members from the tribe that were helping kind of give us guidance and tell us the history and stuff. Stand off to the side and just open up, giving prayers, love, and light to the higher source. With my Reiki training, I can also help move on through that. So I open myself up to higher spirit. I'm connecting the 5 students that came through that wanted help moving on. As I was helping them move on, several more children came through and stepped forward to help get moved on. As this kind of, they just kind of continued. We probably, I'd say 24 to 30 kids in all kind of passed through to help move on. But the energy completely shifted. And by the time we were done and I was able to, thank higher spirit and all that helped this process, Nani and I were in complete tears, the whole space that we were in, the light, it just lit up, the energy shifted and was very light. Nani and I didn't even know that Stephanie and the other people who were helping do the tours, that they had also felt it. So as Nani and I kind of stepped out from the private area that we were in, everybody was just in tears. They were like, oh my gosh, we could feel this energy shifting and it feels so much lighter in there. And they could get that sense of helping those boys that had been abused and left there.
Wow. Seems like it was a very emotional and touchy investigation.
Yes, that one definitely was. We hope to go back and do the same thing and move and do that same thing over in the girls' dormitory as well and help them move on.
Sure. Wow, that's I guarantee I probably wouldn't have held tears back.
Like just thinking about it makes me like tear up a little bit still. Like it was.
Yeah, there's some venues out there that you just can't help it. We've run into a couple ourselves. So, well, that's fantastic. My computer doesn't want to charge anymore.
All the technical stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. That's why Casey's the tech guy. I don't got to worry about it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, do you guys have a post? There you go. So, do you guys have a post-investigation process that you have to take care of, like checking up on the clients maybe a couple weeks after the case or something like that?
Yes, we do. We do have 3 sets of security cameras that have 3 cameras each. So as you know, during investigation with digital recorders and cameras and all of the equipment, sometimes you can have over 100 hours, 200 hours worth of evidence to go through. So we do our best to go through everything as quickly as we can, and give them some evidence, show them some evidence. We talk to them about what we've experienced, what they experienced, validate things that they picked up on. There are some investigations that we have been behind on, because when you're doing that many hours of investigating,
yes,
you do fall behind. Like we did the Empire Arts Center in November, Stephanie.
Yeah, I think so. And we still haven't even looked at the
stuff tomorrow. I'm taking today and or tomorrow and next 2 days next week to go through the cameras. So when we're there on the 20th, we'll be able to at least have that stuff to show them. But
okay.
Sure. All right. Okay. Now, since we kind of covered your entire investigation process, a question I've asked everybody on the ALL American Paranormal Tour: if somebody were to come to North Dakota for the paranormal and kind of take a little paranormal tour of the state, what makes North Dakota a good state to do that?
Well, we've got a great history to North Dakota. Minot itself has rumors of working with Al Capone. Al Capone had some of his goonies up here running booze from the Canadian border through here. We were in little Chicago. Downtown Minot was known for opium dens, rum running, whorehouses, and all the good stuff from back in the day. So Minot itself is a very active little town.
Sure.
The Tobby Museum of Art, the original comics and collectible store, the Urban Winery are some of the most active places, I would say, downtown Minot. Steph, any place else in Minot?
In Minot,
don't let them do it.
There's some places like along the street that we haven't been in yet, that I know we are trying to get in, but just pretty much anywhere downtown. But yeah, I think those 3 places are the main ones in Minot.
All right. And just North Dakota in general, I mean, like, do you feel each and every city that you go to might have plenty of paranormal activity?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
You didn't even hesitate there.
Williston, we've done several locations in Williston, the James Memorial Arts Center, the old armory there, and 660 radio station. All 3 are very active. The former governor's mansion in Bismarck was very active when we were there. The Dora, so yeah.
And I hear a ton of juicy details on Fargo all the time. So, there's that as well. So, looks like we might just have to pack up and go to North Dakota, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Just for like an example. So, I've always been big into history. Like I did a whole history project. I'm from, like I said, I'm from south of Bismarck, and I did a whole history project on the county where I'm from. And there's little bits of history, like in my hometown, the first postmistress was actually shot and killed because she was breaking up a fight between two men. Now that I live up near Canada, I live way north of Minot. There's actually a bunch of like interesting little historical tidbits about the town that I live in now. From, you know, because everywhere that you go in North Dakota, there's like a little railroad town. But there's so many little towns in North Dakota that each have such an interesting history, even if there's like 60 people there. It's just, I don't know. I love North Dakota. So
absolutely. Well, ladies, so what is next for Paranormal Investigators of North Dakota?
Our next investigation, which is our return to the Empire Arts Center on April 20th. And we're working on investigations for this summer. We always try and hit some bigger locations throughout the summer when it's safe to travel and that we're not going to get some freak blizzard. But then again, it's North Dakota, so we could. Right. So yeah, we normally do a lot of that. We'll be back at Bentonville in Fargo this fall for October again.
You make it. Sorry, you make it sound like you're right next to Minnesota. There, you never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. You know how the weather.
Yes. It's temper tantrums all winter long. Who knows? In the summer, you may get hit with something surprising. Look at our winter this year. We barely got snow.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, we've been spoiled this year, definitely.
Absolutely. I love it. So fantastic. So definitely looking forward to watching a few more of your investigations, kind of getting a little clue about what's what in North Dakota, and hopefully coming over there and collaborating with you guys even eventually.
Cool.
So last but not least, where can our viewers find you guys? Where can we find your investigations and such?
You can look for us on Facebook. We have all of our live videos on Facebook. We are working on some other. We have other social media web pages saved. We just haven't started working on them yet.
Yeah.
Sure. Perfect. And so you guys can go in the description of this podcast and find that Facebook link. I did steal your Facebook link and put it in the description. So all the viewers can go and check out their Facebook and see Stephanie and Wendy, Brian, and all the other members pinned over in North Dakota and all the fantastic paranormal adventures that they have. Ladies, we're going to close the show tonight. Ladies and Casey. We're going to close the show tonight by asking you guys, what is a piece of advice that you would give to a newcomer in the field?
Definitely get the proper authorization to do an investigation. Don't just try and be sneaky and break into a place because you hear that it's got good stuff going on. Be respectful of the spirits. They are just humans on a different form. You wouldn't go try and pick a fight with somebody at the grocery store. Don't do it to the spirits.
Agreed.
One thing about our mission is to help those living and those that have passed. So we do everything that we can to validate people's experiences and help those that have passed as well. So
kind of similar to ours. Our motto is putting clients' minds at ease and helping the dead find the light.
No.
Very similar.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Stephanie? What would be a piece of advice?
So definitely we're very big on what Wendy said. Very, very big. Also, I would have to say, try to find out I'm big on the history part. So try to find some history about the place. I know some people like to go in blind a little bit, but I feel like knowing the history helps you connect better with the spirits that are there. So definitely, do some research before you go as well, and be careful. Be careful.
Right.
There's
Yes.
You never you might bring home.
right.
So protect.
Yes. One thing I've always said is if you walk into an investigation with a chip on your shoulder, well, guess what you're going to get from the spirits? You're going to get the same energy that you put out.
Yeah.
So just be mindful of that when doing an investigation. For all the newcomers that, hey, go over there. Children. Jeez. Well, we thank you guys a lot for being a part of our Minnesota Spirit Cast on this Tuesday night. Again, sorry we couldn't do it on Saturday, but we had a lot of fun doing it tonight. Love to have you guys back again. You seem to be very knowledgeable about the paranormal field, and I want to know more about these locations. So I might just message you guys separately, get a little information about the ones that you are allowed to do and stuff. I don't want to pry into any personal information, but
That sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely.
perfect. Well, you guys have been awesome. I'm looking forward to maybe collaborating one day when we do make it over to both of the Dakotas. We appreciate you guys coming on. It's an open door if you ever want to return. Just remember that you guys have my Facebook. So
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having us on.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, we hope you guys have a good night. Thank you.
Take care.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Okay, guys. Well, we want to just thank the paranormal investigators of North Dakota for their knowledge about the paranormal field and sharing all their evidence and stuff with us tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed the show, as we hope you enjoy all of them. Big thank you to Dubby Energy, Schneider Customs, Provoke Paranormal, and lots of other people. And big thank you to Casey for sticking with me here every week. Beth for sticking with me every week and helping me slide right through this ALL American Paranormal Tour. We got a big surprise coming up for season 5, so you're not going to want to miss it. But with that being said, stay tuned because this Saturday we're heading to our other neighboring state and Casey's neighboring state of Michigan. So we will be in Grayling, Michigan on Saturday with returning guests, and you'll just have to wait and see or go over to our Facebook and check out the event. We'll share some more info on that. Until then, we hope you guys enjoy the show. Hope you guys have a fantastic night, and as always, happy hunting. Oh, sorry. You guys have anything to say?
No, not until after live is done.
Okay. Beth?
Yeah.
No, I'm just getting ready to go to bed.
Okay. Well, we won't keep you waiting too long. We hope you guys have a great night. We'll see you Saturday, and happy hunting.